Hey everybody, and welcome to the first lesson for the year. We're going to start our discussion on geometric thinking and vocabulary. We would shorten that and call that logic. At the beginning of every lesson, I will try to give you the learning targets, the things we're trying to learn or take away from this lesson and practice, and then I will try and connect them as well to the practice problems that we're doing. If you ever need to, please pause the video if you need to take a break, or rewind if you missed something I said, or if you need to ask me for help. Always feel free to pause and ask for help, or take a break if you need to. So we'll start by talking about the important symbols in geometry. So whenever we use letters in this unit in logic, we typically will use these letters P, Q, R, S, T. We can use any letter really, and what these represent are statements or short sentences. So we are going to be taking words and writing them in symbolic form, and we're going to be taking symbolic form and using them to write actual sentences. And so we're going to use these letters to represent different statements, and you'll see that in the next slide or two. If we have this arrow that goes to the right, that is going to represent if, then. And typically what we'll do is between the words if and then, we will end up putting a statement, and then after the word then, we will also put a statement. The double arrow means if and only if. And a lot of these things are going to be used to join statements, combine them together. And so if and only if, when we have the double arrow, we will have a statement that goes on the end and a statement that goes on the beginning. So that double arrow will usually be joining two letters, those letters representing some statement. Again, that should become more clear on the next page. The next two are going to be similar to that double arrow. They'll be joining two statements, one at the beginning and one at the end. The one that looks like a V represents the word or, and the one that looks like an upside down V, or we can almost make it look like an A, that represents the word and. And in fact, that's how I've practiced remembering which one means which. The one that we can turn into a capital letter A, that's the one that means and. Again, if I'm going too fast or you missed something I said, make sure you pause and rewind if you need to. Don't just miss it. This little squiggly here, sometimes we say that it means not. What it really does is it changes the meaning of a statement. So if my statement is I like math, if I use that little squiggly symbol in front of the letter that represents my statement, that's going to mean I don't like math. It's going to change the meaning. And this last one, the three little dots that look like a triangle, represent the word therefore. Usually we'll use that when we make some sort of conclusion. We want to say, therefore, this thing happens. And so we use those three little dots that look like a triangle to represent the word therefore, rather than actually writing the word. So let me practice using some of these symbols. Here I'm going to connect to you the thing we're trying to learn that was on the front of the page. You don't necessarily have to write that down. I just want to make the connection. And here I'm telling you I'm going to use this letter P, and P is going to represent this short statement or this short sentence, I walk to school. The letter Q is going to represent this short statement, this short sentence, I bring my lunch. All right, for now, these might end up being kind of silly, but we're just trying to practice taking words and writing them in symbols. And so we're going to use the letter P whenever we see I walk to school. We're going to use the letter Q whenever we see I bring my lunch. And so it might be helpful if you have different colors like I do right here. Anytime I see I walk to school, I might want to underline it with purple. And I bring my lunch, I can underline it with green. So I know I need to have a P and a Q when I translate the symbols. I also see the word if and then. That represents the arrow to the right. So my final symbolic form of this whole sentence is P, arrow to the right, Q. This next one says I don't bring my lunch. So bringing my lunch was my green, but the original Q was I do bring my lunch. Here I'm saying I don't bring my lunch. So my symbolic form of this sentence is going to have that little squiggly in front and then the letter Q. It means take that sentence that represents Q and change its meaning. Again, here I see bring my lunch, walk to school. Another strategy for dealing with these sentences, if you don't have different colors, you might just actually write the letter on top. So you could write P there when you see I walk to school. You could write Q when you see I bring my lunch. Whatever works best for you. It's good to organize your thoughts before you try to give an answer. And then I see this word or. From that first page where we talked about the symbols, or was the V. So my answer is going to have a V. And it's V's and upside down V's and arrows are always in between the letters. Bring my lunch was Q. Walk to school was P. This one I see the word therefore. That's going to be the little triangles. I don't walk to school. That was representing P. P was I walk to school. I don't walk to school is going to be P with the little squiggly in front. And then before that is therefore, so we put the little triangle dots. We can do the opposite. We can take symbols and turn them into words. So I'm going to use my same P and Q. And now everywhere I see P, I'm going to write I walk to school. Everywhere I see Q, I'm going to say I bring my lunch. And then I'm going to write whatever the symbols I have mean. So here I have P, I walk to school. This double arrow means if and only if. And Q means I bring my lunch. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to write that out. So there I've taken my symbols and I've turned them into words. And I can do this for all of these. At the beginning here I have squiggly P. That means I'm going to change the meaning of P. Instead of walking to school, I'm going to say I don't walk to school. This upside down V, or what we can make look like an A, that means and. And then we have Q, I bring my lunch. So let me put that all together. So I'm just inserting the words where the letters go and using the symbols to tell me what other words to use. Number 3, I just am going to use Q, I bring my lunch, and in front of it I have the triangle dots, which means therefore. And so I'm going to translate this to therefore I bring my lunch. And this last one I have squiggly Q. The V means or, and then Q. So I'm going to have I don't bring my lunch or I bring my lunch. Sounds a little silly, but let me write that down. And so there you have that. So what I want you to do is use those examples that we just did to help you do these. Translate the ones in words to symbols and the ones in symbols to words. I'm going to pause here and write down the answers. You should pause the video right now and try these on your own. Then press play and check your answers raise your hand if you need help. So check your answers here. Check them all. If you got one or more wrong, please make sure you raise your hand and ask for help so that we can clarify maybe what mistake you made. And then make sure that you stick around till the end. So some problems are going to pop up. Make sure you answer those problems that pop up, and then you are finished. Again, ask for help if you need it, so that we can maybe fix some misunderstandings and help you along the way. Good luck.